So I get it. I guess we're upside down. It's tragic. But I'm going to go ahead and go forward with this because I selected the wrong camera. And this is my second stream, so we're going to get into it. Hey, everybody, I'm Connor MacIvor, Connor with Honor here, Santa Clarita Open Houses. This market has been moving pretty good here in Santa Clarita Valley. I will tell you, though, that buyers are definitely hitting a couple different sticking points out there, just for the simple fact that there's a lot of competition amongst buyers and sellers, not so much. Most houses that come up for sale in Santa Clarita neighborhoods, there's only one, maybe two, and usually the two is already in escrow if in fact it's been on the market for any short period of time. If you see a house that happens to be listed for sale and that house has been listed for sale for quite a while with no interruptions in its progress, for example, it didn't go into escrow at some point and then have something happen where it couldn't continue, so that particular residence hits the market again, then the thing that I always tell my folks to look at once it does is probably a good time for a price reduction, probably good time for a change in the pricing strategy. Now, as it is, sometimes this is very self-serving, and at least on the forefront, it looks that way. However, when you're looking at the online systems, the online syndication sites, they do pay more attention to things that are freshly updated or changed. So if something stays dormant, doesn't really move around, and I'm not talking about just simple description text on a listing, or maybe photo sequencing or photo order, or maybe changing a couple things in the MLS to try to spark off having that listing start to propagate at the top part of the syndication sites. But I am talking about potentially going in there and conducting some kind of a price change. Now, the price change doesn't have to be big. It can just be a little. What the fact of the matter is it is a price change. It's going to show a reduction. So the syndication sites, to get more people to want to go visit them, they're going to make a kind of a big deal out of it. So that will be seen by a lot of people, and that then will cause that listing to rise up yet again. And that's usually when the market activity really does get dialed in. Understanding that the listing price is only going to work out as long as it's in accordance with what the market bears at the time. If you have a house that you put a price on, you've gotten your value, you've talked to it, you put it on the market, yet this house isn't moving in the typical average time frame that houses are moving, then there's an issue. And usually, as long as there's no system issues, holes in the walls, a bad carpet, bad shape, if the house is in good shape, there's nothing else to blame. The last thing is going to be the price. That's what people need to see when they're looking at the listings that aren't moving at all. On the other end of it, as buyers, that might not be a bad thing to include in your search. So talk to your agent. At Santa Clarita Open Houses, I make sure that my buyers are aware that these exist. So I'll take a particular city, let's say Valencia, where the average days on market time frame is somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 12 days. If there are listings that are on the market, let's say 20 days or more, then that's going to be something that I'm going to have particular attention paid to. And that will also be something that I include in my search for my clients. Why they're not seeing those listings prior to is because they're priced over where they qualify. So, or whatever the discussion happened to be. That's another thing, and I'll get back to this in a second. Wherever you qualify, that doesn't mean that's where you need to spend the money. If your lender says you qualify for $900,000, maybe you don't want to go over 800 or 700. So wherever your set is, you're probably not going to see listings above it. But let's say your set is $900,000, and that's what you want to spend. Surfing listings that have been on the market exceeding 20 days in Valencia, because the average days on market is 7 to 12 before single-family residences in a 4-bedroom configuration in North Park or North Bridge or Bridgeport or one of the specific Valencia areas, because you have to be able to track the data. Once you see that that's the case, then that next step might be to go ahead and make an offer in accordance with what you're seeing in the real estate market. And it could be that those sellers were overzealous in their original pricing strategy as well. So it might not be that, in fact, the market didn't even bear it out. It could be that that original listing price was set a little high. Again, we're not seeing that that really delays things in sales, but it does limit the viewing. So if somebody is qualified to 900 and the listing is just overpriced above 900, more than likely they're not going to see it, because usually those searchers are dialed in price restricted quantities. So they might be looking at single family residences between 750 and 900,000. So if it's $901,000, I don't even think I've seen a listing priced at that. They usually don't use the smaller amounts at the end. But let's say it was 901,000. You'd never see it. Just for $1, you just wouldn't see it. So that's something to consider when you're looking online. Now, as far as the other things, looking at the Santa Clarita real estate inventory, there have been some things that have happened here in the recent past. I've been watching some podcasts out there and videos that are talking about inventory numbers in January being in the hundreds, and now all of a sudden we're in the 400s. That jump wasn't that much if we're talking about all residential inventory. Now, if we're talking from the 320s, 300s, maybe 280s, 290s, which below that I haven't seen in a long time. But to hear a number about 170, 180, say that that's how the market was in January, the individual must be talking about a particular housing type, not all residential, not all habitable residential, but maybe looking just at single family residences, because that could make sense. Back in January, the numbers were very low. I hope everybody has enjoyed today's streaming. I will be back very soon. I did post the other information up on our YouTube channel as well, and also Facebook. I'm Connor with Honor. When you're ready, go to SantaClaritaOpenHouses.com. What I did on that system, you'll see at the very top, if you go to either, if you're a seller or buyer, if that's where you're looking to do either one, you'll see those guides that I posted up that are free. You get immediate access. But these guides do help guide you through the real estate market, and they're built off of a lot of knowledge and experience, past people's mistakes, to basically inform you on how to do it better. So that's SantaClaritaOpenHouses.com. You'll see up at the top either the seller or the buyer tab. In addition, that system does update frequently throughout the hour. So if a listing does hit the market, and I caught it doing it the other day, an agent that I was sitting with was entering a listing, and then I came over and looked at the system, and I saw the update within 30 seconds of the listing going live, which was exciting to me. I'm Santa Clarita Open Houses, Connor MacIvor. Over and out.